Hi everyone. Hope you're all doing good and hope you're all safe at home. So, have you ever seen this? Like when we see an extremely successful or like a rich person, we all tend to think that they somehow got there by luck or with some external help or that they became successful overnight. He got lucky and was at the right place at the right time. He had help from external factors and other people. We're all ordinary people. We have no chance of becoming that successful like him, and so on. I mean, we all have said this at some point of time. Anyone familiar with that? So the question is, why do we all think like that? Why do we get these kind of thoughts? What makes us give up on ourselves in pursuit of our own success? The reason is our brains are programmed through our entire life with the concept that the path to becoming successful is linear. That is, we believe that the effort we put in should directly translate into results immediately. Like somehow both are directly proportional. And when that this does not happen, when the effort we put in does not translate into results, when we have not achieved the success we think we deserve for the effort we put in, we get disheartened. We start thinking maybe this is not for us. Finally, like after all the thoughts that goes in our head, finally with so much negativity filled in our minds, we quit the entire process. So when we see highly successful people, and our brains won't allow us to believe that they just got there by hard work and efforts. We give all sorts of reasons why they got successful just to console ourselves and justify to ourselves that it is not possible for us. Like it's beyond us and we are not meant for that. But if you notice, we as people are not at all interested in learning about the journey of those people who became successful. We are not at all interested in learning how they got there, the hardships they went through, and or the entire process. We are not ready to learn that. If we do that, if we look into their entire journey, we will realize that whatever we know about success is not completely true. That the path or the journey to success is rarely linear, and the path is always filled with obstacles, and we cannot avoid facing these obstacles in order to reach where we want to go. I mean, we all like reading these stories, right? Like of someone who got from rags to riches, or someone who failed and failed and failed till he achieved great success. But when it comes to our own lives, we don't believe it. Even when we see an example of a highly successful person who has persevered in spite of all the obstacles they have faced in the journey, we still believe that there was some sort of magical element involved in their success. And if you believe there's magic, the magic is simply this: they did not give up on all the failures they faced along the journey, all the failures they faced in their lives. They did not say it is not possible when they had a setback. Like we usually tend to do, right? Like when we have a small failure, for instance, we just give up at that stage. A big setback, then we are blaming our fate and then accepting that it's not meant for us and we are not meant to achieve it. But what happens to the successful people? When they hit a roadblock, they actually backtrack and find another way to achieve what they want to do. They do not let temporary failures cloud their vision from the long term goal that they want to achieve. They have the belief in themselves and that they can overcome any obstacle thrown at them. So, any obstacle thrown at them does not seem like an obstacle for long. And that makes all the difference. We all know Steve Jobs, right? So, he got fired from his own company in 1985, a company which he had started. It was really devastating for him. I mean, imagine you build a company from scratch, putting tremendous effort, and then you get kicked out of the company. How do you feel about that? So at that point, if Jobs had thought that, okay, this I'm done, I can't do anything about it, and given up at that time, they would not have been Apple as we know it today. Instead, he had tremendous belief in himself. And then he had the belief that he can make an impact on the world. And he had that mindset to grow. So he started another company called Next, which was acquired by Apple later on. And then he returned as the CEO of Apple. And he took Apple to great heights as we know it today, with tremendous groundbreaking products and innovation. There are so many other examples like this. There was J.K. Rowling, who, like, when she started, I mean, you know J.K. Rowling, right? She's a world famous author who wrote Harry Potter. So when she started writing Harry Potter, she did not have any money, and then she was divorced, and she was depressed, and like 12 publishers rejected her before her. I mean, she could have given up at that time, but then she persisted through it all, and finally she got a publisher who could publish it, and today she's one of the best selling authors in the world, and she's a billionaire as well. And there was Lionel Messi, who was dropped from his team in his teenage, from his club team in his teenage, because he had this growth disability, because of which he could not, like, he was stunted at for his age. But then he did not give up there. He practiced and perfected his football skills. And today, he's one of the most successful footballers in the world and also the richest one as well. So, all these people I told, they had one thing in common, that is the mindset to grow and mindset to not give up. And overall, they had this growth mindset. So there's this author called Carol Dweck. In her book Mindset, she says that people who have the growth mindset never get deterred by challenges. Instead, they persist and rise up to the challenge and conquer them. Also, with the growth mindset, you will learn that from all the temporary failures, if you put in like consistent and constant effort, regardless of whether you're getting results immediately or not, knowing that, like, when you do that, knowing from these lessons and from these failures, you learn lot of lessons which you can apply and ultimately achieve your goal. You have to understand and remember that nothing worthwhile can be achieved instantly. It takes effort, consistent and constant efforts, day in and day out, and the growth mindset, and tremendous belief in yourself to achieve that greater level of success. So, when you are able to visualize your end goal, all the minor roadblocks and temporary failures become lessons from which you can learn and grow and ultimately achieve success. I would like to conclude here with a quote from this person called Orison Swett Martin. Success is not measured by what you accomplish, but rather by the opposition you have encountered and the courage with which you have maintained through the struggle against overwhelming odds to reach where you are. Thank you.